Fala Tigrada, tudo bem? Sejam bem-vindos a mais um vídeo no canal. E esse tá pesado demais, muito fera mesmo. Loretta Lins 2017 com ENZO Lopes andando muito. Então antes de começar esse vídeo, já deixa seu like, se inscreve, que eu preciso da ajuda de vocês aí para fazer o canal crescer. E o objetivo é 50 mil inscritos esse ano. Um dia incrível para o ENZO Lopes em 2017, no centro do Motocross Mundial Amador, que é o Loretta Lins. Uma semana de provas, 6 dias de competições, na verdade, 37 categorias e 42 pilotos. Então você passa um ano inteiro se classificando para chegar nessa prova. E ali os campeões ou os 3 primeiros normalmente saem com equipes de fábrica garantida. E o Enzo fez uma prova incrível, empurrou ninguém mais, ninguém menos do que Justin Cooper. Então tava o Ramyller Alves também, o Brown, que é companheiro de equipe dele, foi companheiro de equipe dele no Clube MX esse ano, entre outros pilotos aí, muitas feras, comentado por Rick Carmichael, tudo. Mesmo sabendo o resultado da prova, a gente ficou coração a mão, torcendo ali pro Enzo. Então assista essa prova e veja como o nosso gaúcho aí acelerou demais essa prova.
That's where it starts right here. And we are off and running. Moto number 2, 250 Pro Sport. Can you do it from the inside? Not a bad start from that young man on the inside. He finished it. He might still be in the lead. He does grab the whole shot.
Oh, a couple guys going up the track there.
Dog paddling their way through as well, doing whatever it takes. This is interesting the way this class has shaped up. There's Justin Cooper with a good start in the 17. He had a bad one in his first moto, came all the way back to second, caught the leader, and then went backwards from there.
I want to talk about Justin Cooper.
Yeah.
So I saw this guy in the Road to Supercross this year. Never even heard of the kid's name.
Yeah.
And you watch him on a dirt bike, and the dude has some serious talent. Arena cross-wise, I'm sure he's going to carry that over to Supercross. And this is the first time I've really watched him in outdoor motocross. He's so precise, and you know, it's crazy. You hear about, you know, you talk about Jet Reynolds. Okay, we're going to hear about him through his whole career, and until he gets to this class, and then you see somebody like Justin Cooper you've never heard of before, just dominating these dudes that we've heard of since 50s. It's pretty outstanding.
I said that yesterday. Watching Justin Cooper, I've never seen him ride before until this week. In person. I've heard of the name, and his style, he's 17 on the Yamaha, and it reminds me so much of Cooper Webb.
Yep.
He's really short, stout, but sturdy. You know, rides the bike pretty light. He's not really in the stroke of the suspension much. Seems to just be floating over the bumps. I think he's going to translate well into the pro ranks.
Yeah, he's a workhorse. If you watch him do work, you don't ever see him fade. You don't see a ton of mistakes. And you're right, he looks really light on his feet all the time. I never see his head slamming down on the bars.
Yeah, he's very precise, methodical about what he does. Not your, like a bulldog on the bike, you know. And I think that's going to pay off for him as he moves up to professional next year.
I think he's like 19, so I think that's going to be in his favor. He's not some 16-year-old kid that's going to have to mature a little bit. He's kind of grown into his man body, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, make no mistake about it. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be tough for him without a doubt. But he's definitely got a lot of good qualities about his riding that I think are going to help him.
We're going to battle here. ENZO Lopes trying to hold with Justin Cooper right now. They're on that long short shoot. Whoa, look at Lopes.
The rhythm section they put in there.
Who knew? I didn't realize.
Check it out, Lopes. He's not following. He's going inside when Cooper's outside, and you got to do that. You don't want to follow, and you know, this track can be hard to pass on, especially when you're almost the same speed as the guy in front of you that you're trying to pass. So you got to hang it out. You got to find ways to get around the guy in front of you.
Lopes would love nothing more than to shut this hype machine down, because he's got a little hype behind him. He was kind of a big deal back in the day on 65s and 80s. He kind of fell off the radar for a little bit. Now he is back, and he's had a really good last year, Jason.
Yeah, and exactly. He knows if he could run with Cooper or beat him, that would be huge, because Cooper's the one that's got the hype now. I was talking to Bobby Regan yesterday. They just signed Justin Cooper to ride for Star Racing next year. He said about a month ago they sent him to North Carolina, and they said ride with the team and ride with Cooper Webb. And he shows up and he has stock grips, and one of the grips is so worn out he had to slid another grip over the grip. And they're like, why didn't you put new grips on there? He's like, I don't have any. They're like, are you serious? And then they went to a sand track one day, and they're like, aren't you going to put a sand tire on? And he's like, I don't have a sand tire. I've never ridden with a sand tire. I don't have that kind of money. So maybe that's why this guy could be a diamond in the rough. And as kind of a late bloomer, he didn't have the support, the attention, and all that. But a lot of people think nowadays maybe that's better. Keeps you hungry, keeps you humble, peak when it counts.
Doing a lot with a little, man. That says a lot. And I think the guys that come up the way he has, it seems like they prevail in the long run. So it's going to be fun to watch him, and he's making it happen right now.
Jace Pennington third, Ramyller Alves is fourth, Jake Panaco's fifth. Hey, RC, I've always wanted to ask you this. You mentioned how fast these young mini-cycle riders are. What was your program back then? Obviously, you were winning races, but were you training and riding anything even close to what these dudes are doing now?
No, I mean, as far as the workload, I was doing a lot, probably way too much what I should have been doing, but it ended up paying off. But I couldn't ride a motorcycle and do the things that these young kids come. Like we were talking earlier with Kevin, it's just a different. It's just different. These guys do things on dirt bikes that are amazing, and I have so much appreciation for it.
But did you ride, 5 days a week?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I rode
that was still happening.
Yeah. But these guys, I mean, what they can do on dirt bikes is fun to watch.
So the difference, in my opinion, now and what they do now, they train specific. Like they'll be sprints, they'll do this, they'll be on a road bike for hours a day, and they'll get in the gym. Were you doing that part of the deal? Were you just riding tanks of gas out?
Yeah, tanks of gas, and then I would do. I used to jog a lot when I was younger, so that was before cycling got really popular like it is now.
You were around before bicycles. That's when your career
before they even had bicycles.
No bicycles at all.
Wheel.
That big tall front one, big handlebar mustache with the big tall front wheels, the one you rode.
I remember watching an interview you did. I think Monster Energy was a lot behind it, but it was a sit-down interview, and you went deep into depth on just basically your entire career and the thoughts you had and the mental toughness you had to have to break through some things. So that's one thing you guys should definitely check out is that video on YouTube. Ricky really goes into the mental aspect of the sport, and even being a champion, how tough it can be sometimes to get the courage and the confidence up to go out there week in and week out.
We got a battle going on here.
Yeah, that's Jordan Bailey finally getting on the radar. It's been a tough week for Bailey, but now he's starting to roll, battling with Jair Mitchell and moving up to, I believe that's 7th place. So tough starts for Bailey. It hasn't been the week he's wanted so far, but he's showing his speed now.
Hey, Ricky, maybe you can speak to maybe Jordan's and other kids out there. One of the last kids that stayed in public school all the way through last year, won his titles and going to public school. I think there's just a handful of kids that do that. Yeah, that's got to be tough.
Oh, it does, especially when all these kids now ride at facilities and doing homeschooling, and maybe some kids not even doing any schooling. Right. So, but you know what? It just goes to show you it can be done. And for myself, I made it all the way in public school through halfway through my junior year, but I had already signed a professional contract, so I had to leave halfway through. But I really admire that. The longer you can stay in school, the better. It's important because you never know what will happen. You could have an injury or things just don't go your way, and someday you're going to have to fall back on that.
Is that Enzo Lopes
keeping
Justin Cooper in sight? He had lost a little ground, but he's starting to move back up.
Yeah, it was 2.2. I think he's within a second some change, and put a little pressure on Justin. Let's see what he's made of. He's done it in various ways. He's had to come through the field. He's ran away with it. Now he's got some folks on him, so he's showing you all sides.
Too. Jace Pennington following Enzo Lopes straight through. And Ricky, you made a good point. Lopez was making some outside lines, trying to switch it up and not following, and it may have hurt him off the back. So you end up losing time, but just kind of explain how the confidence and the advantage it is finding those other lines late in the moto.
Well, that's right. So he's trying to figure out which lines work good, and he's going to know, okay, next time he comes up on these guys, like, okay, well, this line didn't work, maybe this inside didn't work, so I got to go to the outside. But the biggest thing is when these guys are going to make a pass, you have to be right on the back wheel of the guy, so when he slips, boom, you can get right by him. But it gives you confidence when you can kind of back off of a guy and then pass him back again. It's or catch up to them again. It's very comforting knowing that, hey, you can make the pass. And the cool thing about Loretta Lynn's is this race being a lot longer than their normal amateur nationals that they go to. So maybe they have some race strategy. Hey, I know this guy might get a little tired towards the end, so I'm just going to buy my time. And when he sees the guy in front of him start to back up a little bit, boom, that's when you pounce. So is there some race strategy going on? I would like to think that there is. and that's really good that they can race like that at an amateur level.
Jason, these guys for a full lap have been absolutely terrorizing each other back and forth.
Yeah, this is good going in the 10 Commandments. We'll show, of course, that battle for the lead also. But you're looking at the 22 of Ramyller Alves coming through the 10 Commandments. Then right behind him, 69 Challen Tennant trying to climb into the top 10. 96 is right there, Jair Mitchell. They've gotten around him. That is a tremendous battle. And we go back up front. It's still tight.
That classic Bermuda, Texas rivalry that everyone has been waiting for.
All the time out here.
With Challen Tennant from Texas and Jair Mitchell from Bermuda. We've all been waiting for it. They've been talking about it for years, and it's finally happening.
Lots of political history between those countries, too.
Do not mess with Bermuda is what he's saying.
Yeah. Texas is not part of America.
No,
it is its own country.
Own country.
Texan.
Well, they've got a triangle, and they'd love to show you. So if you want to go check that out.
Play
exactly.
Bermuda Hold'em, have some Bermuda toast.
Remember in this one, Cooper did not win the first moto. It was actually Challen Tennant, his newly signed Star Racing teammate on the 69 Yamaha who won the first one. He's sitting back in 9th place, and he's battling out with Ramyller Alves, the guy who just pulled our Bell Helmets hole shot. So Challen Tennant, he's going to need to put on a charge if he wants to make it interesting in the third moto.
If Challen gets out front, he's shown that he can win, but he just kind of stays in that number 7 or 8 spot. I don't see him moving forward like the rest of the gang.
Just a bit. I think they got Jair Mitchell, and he's battling with Alves, but that's not going to get it done as far as staying in title contention after that first Moto win. Cooper got second in Moto 1, leading here in Moto 2. Here's that battle we're talking about. 69 Tennant on the outside trying to squeeze past Ramyller Alves. Couldn't make it happen.
He's doing everything he can. He come up that inside there out of the right-hander after their tunnel jump and tried to close out Alves, but just couldn't make it happen. So then he was on the outside coming into the next turn, not where you want to be. Still a lot of racing left here.
Yeah, and you can see he did lose ground in that little exchange there past the billboard, so now he's got to go back to work. And all this is just to get into, is that 7th place? Jordan Bailey up ahead in 6th, Joey Crown 5th, Panaco's 4th, Pennington. Jace Pennington continues to put in faster laps than both Lopes and Cooper in front. There is only 1.2 seconds between our top 3. This is the showdown type of moto we've been waiting for all week. We haven't seen a lot of big battles for the lead, but we're going to have it here.
Ricky Carmichael in the booth with us, calling the action as we show you what's going on live on Racer TV. That is a great battle there, Jason.
Tennant still trying to get Alves. Man, no running room here. Now, Tennant, a lot of the line for him, now that Star Racing has announced they will take Justin Cooper into the pros next year, everyone's kind of wondering what is next for Tennant. I believe he's going to have to prove himself this week, or he's going to be out. And I think right now he's essentially considered on the outside looking in of a ride next year. So he's going to have to pull out something special. No pressure, dude.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought they were both signed for next year. So that's interesting because he is on a Star Racing bike right now. Justin Cooper still on a Rock River bike. So
yeah, it is not guaranteed that Tennant is going to the pro team.
He is literally getting outplayed and the ride taken right out from under him if he doesn't turn things around. Winning Moto number 1, but an 8th in Moto number 2 will not be good enough.
That's what we want, our battle for the lead. This is the top 3, folks. Cooper, Lopes, and Pennington, wheel to wheel. Pennington is actually, again, 2 or even 3 laps in a row, had the fastest time out of this group. I think 3 laps in a row, the third place rider has been the quickest. What a line on the inside by Pennington.
Oh, a lot of these guys making some mistakes, and Cooper just so perfect and precise. If he's able to hold these guys off for the win, that is saying a lot, because I feel like Justin Cooper is in the worst spot as far as pressure goes. He is the hunted right now, okay? And Lopez and Pennington, they're just seeing where he can go. Look at all these lines, inside ruts, outside ruts, really good if you're trying to race somebody. But if he's able to hold these guys off, that'll be a huge feather in his cap. And just from a racing standpoint, like, hey, dude, listen, I can withstand the pressure you guys are bringing on. And in my opinion, Justin Cooper's in the toughest spot right now, without the fact that he doesn't have to eat roost.
He's in the toughest spot, but I've watched Justin Cooper all week. He never seems to be in any sense of urgency. Always staying cool, calm, collected. There's some kids, as he just triples into the sand, almost
pulled that out of nowhere.
Like we said, we saw Halpane go down huge on that jump yesterday. No
he just
problem
uncorked
for
that
Justin Cooper.
out of necessity right there. He wants to get away from
He
this
heard
guy.
me talking, saying he was just collected. He's like, I'm not
No,
collected.
I'm
I'm going to
sending
quad
it.
into this sand
I think
right
he did
here.
hear you.
Yes, he did.
Because you were talking about it when he let off the gas in the corner.
You called him out on it.
There is a speaker sitting right up there on that tree. He heard it. He's
That's
like,
right.
I'm uncorking this quad. I'm going to shut Albertson up in the booth.
Just totally
old
different riding
has-been.
styles here, man. Enzo Lopes just wild. He runs a different line every time around, bounces all over, and it works for him. Look at him. He closes in, he outbreaks Cooper a lot here.
He's going for
Jump
it.
and pulled away. He was putting the hammer down, but Lopes has responded. Absolutely. That was as close as they've been. Great racing in 250A. Enzo Lopes trying to take down Justin Cooper.
Watch him here. He doubles into that. He'll just bounce all over the racetrack, different line here, wherever I'm at on the track, I'm going for it.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. You can see the two different riding styles, Lopes and Lopez and Cooper. You know, you got one guy that's kind of a bulldog, and Cooper, which is really, really smooth. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, I saw the infield during the Open Pro Sport yesterday. Keeping an eye on this guy.
I was keeping an eye on all of them. It's just fun to watch, and you know, these are the guys we're going to be seeing in the big class next year, whether in the 250 class, you know, in Supercross and the outdoor motocross. So it's fun to watch them and watch how they ride.
I actually think that Justin Cooper rides the 450 even better than the 250, though. He looked really smooth on that bike, a lot like that Carter Halpane. He is also a heck of a 450 guy, and it's crazy to see these young kids being able to excel on the bigger bike better, in my opinion. But Cooper obviously getting it done here on the 250 as well, but not if Enzo Lopez has anything to say about that. Let's see if he uncorks the triple again, and he does. Doesn't face into the quad, so he's got that thing dialed in now, Weege.
Wow. Time running out. Lopes has done a great job keeping the heat on, but hasn't quite been close enough to show him a wheel or pull the trigger. He did only once in those turns after the billboards 1 lap ago. Let's see. The lines come together and it works for him. He's headed to the section where he's hot. This is where he closed up and almost made the pass 1 lap ago after this billboard turn as they get through the mechanics area, and he's closing again.
Yeah, the 10 Commandments, I don't know why, but he seems to double all the way through and doesn't go for the triple, but he is so good at just closing right back down on Justin Cooper. He's done it at least 4 or 5 times.
Thou shalt not triple.
He's following all the commandments.
Closes up again, yeah, but the 10 Commandments, and that did in Chase Pennington too. He tried to jump out of the inside about 2 laps ago. All the ground Pennington made up from 30 lost. 2-rider battle. Cooper makes a mistake, looks over. 2 laps to go. Let's see if Lopes can keep it close through here. He got it. He got that triple through the middle. This is as close as he's been through this section of the track.
And all the while, Cooper just continues to handle the pressure. No big deal. Lopes just wants to get up there, put a wheel on him, and see what happens. Look at him close in. Good Lord.
Now, Ricky, when you're in that situation and you know you're faster than somebody in a certain section of the track, what do you end up doing to try to figure out how you can stay close enough to strike when that section comes around the next lap?
Yeah, you just try to be in the right line. You know, when you're leading up a few corners before that, you try to just be really, really precise so you are on that guy when it comes time to make the pass. I mean, you have to be almost picture perfect leading up, you know, the few corners before that area where you think you can make the guy, you know, make the pass.
Right now, Enzo Lopez, Ricky, he's looking really good right after the finish line area as you go around the signboard. But
he almost jumped the next braking bump after that one.
He's just not close enough right now, though.
You got to be right on these guys or it's super hard to make the pass, especially with as ruddy as it is.
All right, white flag coming out this time around. It's all in now. Cooper's just picking it up. He's going for it. Look at that time.
It looks like he's going for it now, scrubbing stuff and a little more. It's like Lopez maybe
hit the wall,
easing up a little bit here.
It's still a good lap time though. Lopez with a 158.7. It's just can't match that 157.9 of Cooper.
It's one of those things though. I know personally when I'm battling somebody really hard and we're getting late in the race, I want to try to make the pass on them on the third to last lap, because once somebody's been leading the entire race and they see 2 laps to go, all of a sudden they turn in to being a complete wreck, making mistakes, maybe a little tired, to I can pull it together for only 2 more laps. So Justin Cooper, like we said, not any sort of sense of urgency, but these last 2 laps he has gapped out and gone away from Enzo Lopez and shut down any hopes of Enzo being able to pass him late in this race. So Justin Cooper placing second in moto number 1 behind Challen Tennant, who's running back in 9th place, is going to pick up a first place finish if everything goes to plan this last half a lap. And that will put him in a golden spot, Kevin, going into moto number 3.
Yeah, you just got to navigate all these, 200-300 lap riders that are out on the track right now that all seem to be directly in front of him. Good Lord. So there's Justin Cooper going to go in with a 2-1 into this third and final moto if he can stay out of the dirt. And look at that. There it is. He almost got clipped.
Oh, we got some. We got.
Good Lord. Is that
these lappers? Yeah, that clearly aren't reading the blue flags.
No.
I mean, there's a race going on, and you're not part of it.
Not at all.
Move out of the way.
Coop not going to go for that triple this time. Smart move, right?
Very tough, though, because a 20-minute race, you don't expect to get lapped, right?
Right. He's looking back there to see where Lopez is, and he's got this.
One more corner, and it looks like Justin Cooper's going to take this one over the finish line. Let's see if he throws a hand in the air.
Ooh,
no,
he takes it off. That was some work right there. Yeah. He had to go deep into the moto with sub 2-minute lap times the entire way.
A 1:56.1. I'm going to have to go out on a limb and say that is the fastest lap time of the weekend. I know Justin Cooper in the first moto had set a 1:56 as well, but this is a low 1:56, a 1:56.1. And if you're getting underneath a 2-minute lap time at Loretta's, pretty good on a dirt bike.
Doing it right. Hey, before we send it down to the podium, we got Ricky Carmichael again with us. And Ricky, you got something going on coming up in October. You guys are getting everybody ready for the Mini-O's?
Yeah, that's right. We're going to have a little warm-up camp for the Mini-O's at the Goat Farm the week of October 23rd. Looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. Weather should be good. Temperature's going to be nice. And we always have a fun time doing that. So looking forward to having a lot of people there. And it was very successful last year, that camp was. So looking forward to it, man. Just
everybody's welcome. All sizes.
All sizes.
Big
yes.
bikes, fast guys, slow guys.
Yep, it doesn't matter, man. We just aim to please.
Awesome. Down there at Ricky's Goat Farm, you can show up, see where he got fast. That's coming up the week of October 23rd. And how do they find you? At the Goat Farm MX?
There you go. Perfect.
Right. Awesome. October 23rd, join Ricky and his mom, and who else?
Yeah, we'll probably have maybe Jeff Emig, Jeff Stanton, our RCU crew.
Awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks,
here,
guys.
And one more question, though.
Yeah?
I want to know how fun it was at that shoot at Dreamland with Fox, having Austin Fortner, one of the young up-and-coming kids, yourself. And I heard a story from somebody that you had to be the big dog and go out there and pop the tabletop first before anybody else would.
I had to show those young guys what's
Even
up.
Dungy.
I felt pretty good. Dungy actually came up. That was a awesome shoot, by the way. Dreamland was a great time, and not very often do you have that type of talent all in one place, and it was just a good time, good vibe, and it was funny. That big tabletop, Ryan Dungy's I'm not jumping it. There's no way. You'll never see this at a race. That's how laser focused that guy is. I mean, he's not taking any chances. He's like, no way, I'm not doing that jump. So it was fun. Killer place to ride.
Again, thanks for being in the booth with us.
Yeah,
Ricky
guys.
Carmichael hanging out. He comes
you.
here if he's racing or not. We're going to send it down to the Race Tech podium. Jason Wygant's got some folks he wants to chat with.
Thanks, guys. So that was a great one. We were waiting for a battle all week, and we had one. Three-way battle for the lead. Jace Pennington was in it most of the way. And then late in the game, Jake Panakos getting up in there, and he pushed Pennington all the way to the end. That was for third. Justin Cooper holds on for the moto win under heavy fire the entire way. Pennington was there for about half the race. Lopes was there the entire race. And that was a fun one to watch. And now Justin Cooper has proven he can do it in a variety of ways. Whole shot and check out. First moto in this class he had to come.